Imagine waking up and feeling exactly the same as yesterday. The loop repeats with no surprises, no small miracles. Surviving has become a habit disguised as life, and comfort has turned into a cage whose bars you barely notice. There is food in the pantry, a roof overhead, a screen full of moving images, and yet the soul keeps muttering, "Is this all?" You scroll, you sigh, you call it fatigue, but deep down, you know it is drought. A thirst for meaning that no algorithm can quench. Freedom, then, is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is wanting what truly matters and daring to rearrange your days so that the essential fits in first. Routine is a silent sculptor. It chisels you when you are not looking. One morning, you discover that the face in the mirror belongs to someone efficient, functional, and empty. You bought gadgets, adopted morning rituals, repeated motivational mantras, yet the needle did not move. Because discipline without direction is just another form of noise. The mind is not a warehouse for hacks. It is soil that demands a seed called purpose. Sow badly and everything rots. Sow well and even the harshest season becomes fertilizer. You signed up for every masterclass, listened to every podcast, filled notebooks with plans, and still postponed the first step. Knowledge without incarnation ferments into guilt. The map is not the territory, and no amount of lectures will replace the bruise of real effort. So trim the excess. Keep the single action that moves the plot. Forward today. Complexity is the refuge of procrastinators. Simplicity is the sharp edge that cuts excuses. Rivers are said never to stand still, yet some currents glide without leaving a mark. So shallow they carve no stone. That is how he moved. Busy, requested, digitally visible, but light as water that splashes without soaking the earth. Each night the phone's glow grew until his pupils burned. Then he killed the screen and the inevitable hum surfaced. For what? At first he called it laziness, later stress. He tried extreme sports, guided meditation, luminous diets. The relief lasted as long as a firework. The hollow returned at dawn, loyal as a sentinel. He understood then. The problem was not lack of stimulus, but excess of borrowed paths. Frankl named that sickness neurogenic neurosis, when a life without inner north becomes hostage to every gust of opinion. In Nazi barracks, he saw another face of the same wound. The day a prisoner stopped dreaming of returning home, his eyes dimmed. The body walked on, but the soul had resigned. Our camp is tidier, infinite productivity, endless feeds, merciless metrics. From morning to night, we display achievements while our emotional spine bends beneath an unnamed weight. The body protests, gastritis, insomnia, tachycardia, a drum marking the rhythm of disconnection. When the void gets loud enough, you bargain. More courses, more followers, an exotic trip. Relief comes and goes, reminding you there is no palliative for a wound that demands meaning. You think life asks you to be strong, when in truth it begs you to be authentic. Frankl redefines freedom, not escaping outer chains, but preserving an inner space still able to choose its response. Even pain can become an ally if it knows where to push. The real conflict is amnesia of that choice. The crack is not evidence of ruin. It is the stem of a flower ready to bloom, if you water it with honesty. The day you finally listen to that inner rustle, a restless page yearning to be written, you realize everything familiar is negotiable. The schedule, the titles, the polite agreements you never questioned. Each can be broken open like a window in a stifling room. But meaning will not arrive with a fanfare. It prefers to slip in through the cracks you refuse to seal. Frankl spoke of 3 hidden entry points for purpose: creative work, intimate love, and the courageous stance we take toward unavoidable suffering. Miss one gate, and life will patiently steer you toward another. Produce something only you can create, a melody, a shelter, a quiet gesture that alters someone's horizon, and suddenly the air tastes different. Dare to love in a way that risks your ego, friend, partner, stranger, and you will find your own heartbeat reflected back, amplified. Face pain with a refusal to be reduced by it, and grief can crystallize into a compass. Yet modern culture sells knockoffs of those portals. We confuse content with creation, validation with love, distraction with transcendence. We binge tiny jolts of dopamine until the receptors dull, then blame the world for feeling flat. Meanwhile, meaning waits like uncashed checks in the drawer of your better self. So begin where your feet are. Inventory the yeses that dilute your days. Which commitments are rooted in fear of disappointing others? Which conversations end with you feeling smaller? Every unnecessary obligation siphons the life out of the task that could light you up. Keep a ledger. For every hour surrendered to trivial demands, deposit 1 hour into something that excites and scares you in equal measure. Guard that balance like a prisoner guards his last match. Do not romanticize the quest. Frankl never did. Meaning is discovered in mud and monotony far more often than on mountaintops. It shows up when you change the bandage again, when you read the same bedtime story for the 200th evening, when you send out another resume after the last rejection. Purpose is forged in repetition, infused with intention. When discouragement ambushes you, and it will, remember the lesson of the camp. Those who could articulate a why outlived circumstances that should have shattered them. A vision of a lecture yet to be given, a wife's face possibly waiting in the ruins, a manuscript rebuilt from memory. Those fragile photographs held grown men upright in blizzards of despair. What is your photograph? Name it. Memorize it. Tape it to the inside of your skull. Then practice the smallest sovereignty. Choose your attitude toward the next discomfort. Traffic jam? Use the minutes to rehearse gratitude instead of outrage. Difficult colleague? View the encounter as training in calm presence. Chronic illness? Let it refine your empathy until people feel safer in your company. These are not platitudes. They are micro-revolutions. Each choice asserts that the final word about your life will be spoken by your conscience, not your conditions, and keep watch for wonder. Meaning flourishes in attentiveness. A red leaf drifting across gray pavement. A child laughing at nothing. The scent of rain hitting hot asphalt. Collect these unrepeatable moments like rare stamps. They remind the brain that existence is more art gallery than assembly line. One caution: the pursuit of meaning is contagious. Align your life, and you will unsettle those still married to numbness. Some will call you impractical, accuse you of midlife theatrics, warn you that passion doesn't pay the rent. Smile gently. They are narrating their own limits, not yours. Frankl advised that values are discovered, not argued into existence. Night will fall again. Screens will glow. The loop will beckon. Let it spin without you. Trace the outline of tomorrow on a blank page. One purposeful act, one true connection, one brave response to hardship. Stack enough of those pages and the story changes genre, from survival tale to saga of significance. And on the morning you wake to the same ceiling yet feel unmistakably different, you'll know the experiment is working. The pantry still holds cereal, the roof still leaks a little, but the soul no longer mutters. It hums. So you keep walking, one deliberate footfall after another, and notice that the ordinary world begins to answer. A project you almost abandoned starts to reveal hidden seams of possibility. A conversation you once dreaded becomes a gateway to unexpected kinship. Even your fatigue feels different now. It is the clean tiredness that follows real engagement, not the stale exhaustion of running in circles. Record these shifts. Let your journal become an altar where small proofs accumulate. Meaning is not a lightning strike, it is a slow sunrise. On days when the sky looks empty, reread the evidence and remember that purpose grows by compound interest. And if fear returns, as it surely will, meet it with the discipline of choice. I can choose my posture even when I cannot choose the storm. That single decision, repeated, reforges the chain between suffering and significance. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Viktor Frankl. Put it to work. When challenge arrives, pause for one conscious breath and name the attitude that will honor your values. Then act from that place. Practice once, practice daily, and watch your inner freedom become unbreakable.